What's up, everybody? Welcome to the Two in the Teal podcast. I'm Ethan.
I'm Marcus. Thanks for riding with us. We're going to be here with you all season long. A lot of tears, a lot of happy times. Give us a like and subscribe.
Let's freaking go.
Welcome in. Instant reaction. Jaguars lose to the Bengals in heartbreaking fashion by what was that, 5 points? Whatever it was. Just letting them score a touchdown on the last drive. There was plenty to point to. I thought... So wait, hang on, Marcus. Can I just show you something real quick?
Please do. Yeah, I see that.
You know who won today? You know who won today? Is my Dallas Cowboys. Who didn't? Hey, Marcus, they didn't play a perfect game. It was a lot of bad. There was a lot of bad in there. But guess what? At the end of the day, Dak Prescott was able to execute situational football and put his team in a position to win.
Yep. Ethan.
And Mark, that
no,
really,
just go ahead. Just do it.
There's lots to point to. There's lots of plays. It was all over the place. You could blame this guy. You could blame this guy. I'm not blaming anybody. I'm just gonna kind of point to, the teal colored glasses on. I would say, last night Georgia beat Tennessee in overtime. Tennessee missed a game-winning field goal with 2 seconds left. And Georgia head coach Kirby Smart got in the microphone after the game, and he said, Tennessee deserved to win that game. We got lucky. We got bailed out. Travis Hunter did not have a pass interference on that fourth down to end the game. That was not pass interference.
No,
that was textbook coverage.
Yeah.
His head was looking at the ball when he made a play on the ball. And
he had his hand on the ball.
He had his hand on the ball. It's pass interference if he had done none of that and just shoved the guy. So
yeah.
Part of me kind of understands, but at the same time, I'm like, I think I'm allowed to ask a little bit more out of the referees. And the only reason I never blame the refs. Calls usually even themselves out over a game. It's just that was supposed to be the last play of the game, and that was not pass interference. That was a total Trayvon Walker. That was not an incomplete pass. That was a fumble recovered in the end zone for a touchdown, by the way. On that Joe Burrow fumble, but it was ruled an incomplete pass.
Well, his arm was moving forward, Ethan.
But the ball hadn't left his hand yet. Trayvon
it doesn't
Walker
have
smacked
to.
It out. See, that's crazy. That's dumb.
Yeah,
that's stupid.
I don't believe, and I could be wrong. However, I believe that the rule is based on the arm and not the football. Because
his arm was coming forward.
His arm was coming forward, and then just because the ball did move backwards, that doesn't make it a backwards pass, because the reason why it went backwards was because of the defender. Whereas the one that was happening in the Cowboys-Giants game, I think.
Right, yeah.
Who was it? Was it Dak or was it Russell Wilson?
I think it was Russell. I forget.
That
was a great game. Yeah.
That was all him. He threw that ball backwards.
Yeah.
That's where the difference is, brother.
So whatever. So whatever. I was in a bad mood. And
well, I'm just letting you know.
It was an incomplete pass. I got it. Maybe just I didn't know that part of the rule, but I was sitting there going like, he didn't throw that ball at all. The ball got smacked out of his hand is where I was at. But so, at the end of the day, I sit there and I go, the Jaguars did deserve to win that game, and that's including the fact that it was mostly against the backup quarterback and that their first-round pick, Shamar Stewart, was out of the game. So either way, it wouldn't have been that impressive of a win, just because, it wasn't Joe Burrow, it was Jake Browning. That was kind of the big part of it. But it's just sloppy plays here and there. It was a play or two away. I thought the lines played well today. I thought they got to the quarterback, and I thought the O-line blocked well.
You
knew this was going to be a shootout.
But I think a couple things come to mind, right? So first and foremost, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to riff really quick, Ethan. I'm going to riff. Give me a couple minutes to riff. So first and foremost, we came out and had that opening drive, and we looked fantastic. Trevor Lawrence was hitting his assignments. Everything kind of went the way we wanted it to. Now, on the plays in the red zone and that critical interception that he had moving past that's where the differences come in as far as being an elite quarterback, right? And I'm not saying you're not going to make mistakes. Mistakes are going to happen. However, when your field awareness and knowledge of the game has to come into effect at some point where you're up 7 points, it's 3rd and goal, you have one of the best edge rushers on the opposing side of the ball. This isn't college anymore, right? You have to play at another level of football smarts. And taking a sack and allowing your team to go ahead and keep the momentum and gain 3 points on the scoreboard is critical. It's absolutely critical. So moving past that, I'm going to go ahead right now and say that Trevor Lawrence needs to go because when you saw a coach, and this is flying all over the internet, you saw a coach trying to coach his quarterback and get riled up. And that's what we've been looking for, is a coach that's going to get these guys going. So it's not a matter of him screaming at his quarterback saying, you suck, you're awful. He's saying, hit your guys in the chest. What did Trevor do? He threw his hand away and threw him out. He shoved him off.
Sassy way.
He shoved him off in front of the whole team.
Not even in a manly way.
In front of the entire Bengals fan base.
It was a little fruity.
On national television. He has to go. This has to be the end. I don't care. I don't care how far along we make it this season. That's unacceptable, dude. And it goes back to what you've said in the past, where we just aren't sure if Trevor's all ball. Whereas another quarterback is going to say, you're right, I got you. I'm going to take responsibility. That's me. I got you. So we go there, and then just the missed balls and the missed assignments and the times where Trevor could actually tuck and run for a good solid gain instead of throwing these Jesus balls that are just so unlikely to be caught, and him putting his receivers in tough spots. And BTJ just didn't look good. He looked afraid. I mean, he looked like he was afraid of being hit. And you know, I understand where he's coming from, because we look at the first catch that he had in the preseason. It was a hospital ball.
He got destroyed.
It was a hospital ball. And so there's obviously little to no regard of the wide receiver safety. And Trevor's got this whole thing going on of throwing into cover 2, cover 3 defense. And I don't see a point how we can move forward from him shrugging off coach. I really don't. You know, that's kind of the nail in the coffin for me, dude.
I don't mind a coach barking back at their or quarterback barking back at their head coach. Brady barked at Belichick.
Sure.
Drew Brees would bark back
it's
at
different.
Sean Payton. It was a little bit different, though, because he was saying, hey, fundamentals right there, you hit him in the chest, you don't have him jump up for that football. And Trevor, you know, and again, heat of the moment, got it. But it just looked like, it made me immediately think about, from the get-go, this is not Liam Cohen and James Gladstone's guy. They did not draft him. They did not pay him. This was who they've inherited. You think they won't? You think if somebody offered them a 1 for Trevor Lawrence in the offseason, or a 1 or a 2 and a 3 or 2 and a 4, they wouldn't be thinking about that? I bet the phones are ringing for Trevor Lawrence. And Liam Cohen is a just do not mess this up type of play caller, right? And I thought it was perfectly encapsulated with, and again, I was watching the Cowboys and the Jaguars today. Dak Prescott, while he has all of his criticism and he has his flaws, he hits his layups. On 3rd and 2, Dak Prescott's either going to run it himself, get it to the right guy. You can usually count on Dak Prescott to hit that kind of stuff for you. It's where he throws it deep that he'll get picked off. He'll do some crazy stuff and he'll, have a bad play. We had a 3rd and 2 today to pretty much seal the game. And Trevor threw it 40 yards down the field into double coverage to Brian Thomas, who wasn't open, who he has not been clicking with all day. Why? I just felt like there's no way that was the go for Liam Cohen on 3rd and 2 in the 4th quarter. I feel like that was find Brenton, find ETN, find Deion,
find your check
find
down,
a guy, find your check down guy, get those 2 yards. I think Brian Thomas was almost like a distraction on that play. He was let's get 2 guys out of the mix by sending Brian flying down this way, and Trevor threw it to him.
We could have ran the ball twice and got 2 yards.
You could have had 2 QB sneaks and you could have gotten that.
Yeah.
But I don't think that was Liam's play call. Throw it to Brian 30 yards down the field into double coverage. I don't think that was his call. I think that was Trevor.
I agree with you.
And it's those layups that he's missing. Patrick Mahomes hits his layups, okay?
Yeah.
And that's why he's been in the Super Bowl. Jalen Hurts, he's either hitting the layup or he's just going to go run it himself because that's the kind of style they run. You're seeing who's been in the Super Bowls. It's been Jalen Hurts. Check it down. Get it to your tight end, Dallas Goedert. Run it yourself. It's been Mahomes. Grab Kelsey. Check it down to your running back. get it to your. Mahomes' receivers have led the league in drops. So the drops today, Mahomes had a receiving core of Juju Smith-Schuster, Marquez Valdez-Scantling, and Sky Moore, and won the Super Bowl and won the MVP in that year.
Yeah.
I mean, people talk about the drops. Got it. They dropped the football. I just keep going back to that 3rd and 2. There was no way Brian Thomas 30 yards down the field in double coverage was the play call there. It's situational stuff. It's the layups that he's not hitting.
And it's hard, dude, because, I mean, in the beginning of the game, I was like, we got our guy back, you know? And then when the times, I'm at a loss for words, Ethan. I just don't see a way that we can move forward.
And he does dial up confidence-boosting plays. He dials up the 7 yards to Brenton Strange. He dials up the screen pass to ETN that goes for a touchdown or whatever. Like, he dials up those confidence boosters. The problem is that then he gets the confidence to throw it to people who aren't open. And the part that I really struggle with, though, is that I keep coming back to, and again, this is not the regime that paid him all that money. $250 million. No state income tax. People got to think about how much money Trevor Lawrence is making. I mean, that's an absurd amount of money. $55 million a year. He makes more than Patrick Mahomes. And this quarterback market is so messed up. Brady was on Colin Cowherd's show this week, and I hate Tom Brady. Oh God, I can't. He makes it all sound like, well, all you got to do is just work really hard. And I'm like, okay, whatever, dude. I was just so annoying when he's like, well, I just worked really hard. And I'm like, okay, everybody's working hard. Anyway, but he talks about these quarterbacks nowadays, they're overdeveloped physically, underdeveloped mentally. So they rely on running out of the pocket, doing all this crazy stuff, making all these crazy throws with their really big arms, running for it themselves, doing all this stuff where he goes, they can't diagnose a defense. They get to the line of scrimmage, they don't check into the right play, they don't do this. Brady goes, that was my superpower. I took advantage of the fact that I'm the only one on this field who knows where exactly 11 people on this field will be. Like, I capitalize on my knowledge over the defense. I don't think Trevor does that. Something's not clicking, and he's a classic big college quarterback. At Clemson, he was better than everybody. Just throw it up to T. He's open. He's going to make the catch. Against the Citadel corner, I'm thinking you and T got that one. And then he gets to the NFL, and everyone's good. And you don't just get to throw it to BT, who, like you said, Marcus, he's thinking about that hospital ball back from that Pittsburgh Steelers game.
Yeah, man. I mean, we can chalk it up like to a million different things on why we should have won that game, whether it was a missed pass or a drop ball or a bad defensive play. We said it before, we just want to see scrappy wins. So the two takeaways are Trevor obviously played pretty poorly.
Bad throws.
And then not only that, but I think I counted.
Defender dropped, by the way.
I think I counted like 6 illegal motion penalties, which is, I mean, so there's a coaching barrier there, right? Of guys,
Trevor getting the play ready, right?
It could be Trevor not being able to get everything on the timing of the assignment down. I don't know, man. I just simply don't see a way on how we could move forward after Trevor like sassily like cast off coach on the field, like in front of millions of people, like and his whole team. Like I'd like to think of if Foye or someone else was getting reamed by the linebacker coach about missing assignments and having poor reads or whatever.
That's me,
you would
coach.
think it would be like, yeah. Like,
yes,
calm
sir.
down, but yeah. Like, I got it. Not like a middle of the field, just like, it doesn't matter what you're saying. I just don't see how we can move forward. That just goes to show the kind of character, and man, I don't even know what to say, Ethan. I think we need to change.
Plenty to point at. I get overreactive and I start saying like Trey, get him out of here. But
no, I mean I truly feel that way,
go
dude.
Back to the fact though that like, okay, so Marcus, let's before we go to the positives and end on the positives, Liam Cohen, I tuned in for the press conference really quickly. He did say we need to evaluate, are we putting too much on their plate game plan wise, because that's like he was saying with those illegal shifts and everything. Not all 11 knew the play call and everything. I put that 100% on Trevor Lawrence. The coach told you this is what we're running this week. That is on the quarterback to make sure everyone is aligned on that. I get you got a baby at home. Thank God you have a wife and $250 million for you to hire people to take care of your baby while you figure out the game plan and make sure everyone else is on board with this game plan. That's what it takes. Because that's what it takes. Because until you do that, you're going to hear people saying it's too much on his plate because he doesn't have the time or energy or care to do it. He doesn't. That's 100% what it is. You don't care enough. He said it when he was getting drafted. It's faith, family, then football. I hear you. I
that's
don't
such a
blame
common. That's like such a common saying. You know, I don't know how like. See, like it's hard to determine whether he actually is super into this thing and he just. But now, you know, it used to just be
he's super into it when he's good at it.
Yeah, and it used to just be faith, family, football. But Ethan, now there's another underlayer, and it's attitude. Faith, family, attitude, footballs. I mean, you saw him getting chewed out by his coach, which is a totally normal thing. That's a normal thing to happen. That's what we want out of our coach. A coach that's going to hold the guys accountable and get fired up when they're making mistakes and say, no, we practice this. You understand how this works. Now go do it. We're paying you $250 million. Go do it. And for him to just go, I don't see how we move forward with with what we're trying to build, Ethan.
Because like I said, guys will bark back at their head coaches. Drew Brees did, Tom Brady did, all these people did. That's not barking back at them.
No, that was not barking back. That was completely taking what you say and discarding it in front of the nation. The nation.
Let's wrap up here. Let's go watch the Super Bowl rematch. Let's end on some positives. Parker Washington.
Yeah.
Talk about somebody who loves ball.
Yeah.
Who's out there and is working his ass off.
Shout out
Parker Washington. Most of the defenders, I thought, I get it. It's Jamar Chase, T. Higgins, Mike Gesicki, Noah Fant. They've got great weapons. They're going to score some points. So that secondary, I thought they did what they had to do kind of thing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I thought those interceptions put them in tough places where instead of, defending with an extra 3 points, now you're defending with the 0, right? Like where Trevor was just throwing it away in the red zone. Instead of points, now you're on defense again. I thought the defense largely played really well. Trayvon Walker was up in their face. I mean, we broke Joe Burrow's ankle. We did something to his ankle. I don't know what we did, but we were getting to the quarterback.
It's his toe.
And I'm not rooting for anybody to get hurt. And
yes, you are.
Not on the Bengals. And we were getting to the quarterback. All that. There were 3 interceptions on Jake Browning that we managed to capitalize nothing.
Shout out Wingard too.
Dewey. I mean, how many chicks are in his DMs in Jack's Beach? And I mean, that guy's such a stud. Jordan Lewis, Eric Murray, these guys are all over the Foye, like usual, just an animal. And then, BT had his drops, got it, but Bashal Tootin, he looks good. Yeah, I like him.
Yeah,
I really like him.
Tootin looks really good.
That's a really nice running back duo. Brenton Strange, thought he was just wonderful. Just did his thing. Brought Parker. How about this? Parker Washington and Brenton Strange, just all reliable, man.
Yeah, they are really reliable. Yeah.
Diami, I forgive you for the drop. It happens, okay? It happens. You're not the one.
Yeah.
You're a great player, but that's okay. It's BT that I go, I get it, but you've got to catch those.
Yeah, BTJ definitely kind of let me down today, just as far as physicality wise, because. And I do understand that he's been put in positions to not be successful or to literally get clobbered. But I don't think that really changes the fact that your number one goal is to catch the football. So, we see it in Devontae Smith, right? He's a big catch the football, get down kind of guy.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not saying if you're worried, not to do that, but, you at least have to catch the football, And so it was a shame to see that.
Hey, really quick, I said let's end on some positives, and I started naming a bunch of negatives. So do you have some positives?
Yeah, I've got some positives. I think that our interior defensive line played like animals.
Yes.
Smoot. Shout out Smoot.
Josh, Trayvon, all these guys.
They played well. Trayvon Walker played pretty well. Josh Hines Allen played well.
Joe Burrow.
Yeah, I mean, the
Not
D-line
even on a
played
dirty
great.
play. It was just all the pressure.
I think the offensive line played great. You know, there was one time where it was a run play, and the running back, I can't remember if it was Etienne or Tootin, but he had 5 yards in front of him just because the offensive line was pushing the D-line back alone, which is what we're looking for. O-line, D-line looked good. Wide receivers, I thought we started out really hot, ended pretty rough. But I think that a lot of the times when your leadership caves, everything else follows behind it, man. And obviously, Travis Hunter, I think he played very well. I don't really have anything negative to say about Travis Hunter. He did have like one play where he could have came up with the grab and maybe he had a drop, whatever.
When it deflected
Yeah,
right
that
into his
one.
lap. Like, that's the kind of stuff you hope, hey, we traded a 2 and a 1 for
Yeah,
you.
I mean,
Can
you got to
please
grab
catch
that.
ball?
Yeah.
I need you to grab that ball.
The defensive play at the end of the game that would have put it away for us. I mean, in a fair world in the NFL where the refs aren't trying to keep the game even or whatever the hell you want to call it, like in my opinion, that wasn't pass interference. He got his head turned around. He had his hand on the ball.
Yeah.
He had his hand on the ball, Ethan. His arm was like on the back of the defender. That's what coverage is. He wasn't tugging him or pushing him. Like it looked clean, man. And so I got to give it up for Travis Hunter in his first tough game and tough matchup. He really hung out in there. Again, dude, I mean, the biggest thing for me, Ethan, is, you know, we've been riding on T-Law this whole time, man. And with what we're trying to build with the new coach and the environment that we're trying to create, to just cast aside the coach's enthusiasm and coaching and saying, I'm not listening to you, you know, in front of a million people. Like, I don't see how we can go forward with that, man. I really don't.
And it's really unfortunate because, like I said, I'll end on this. We deserve to win that game because that was straight up not a pass interference against Travis Hunter. That would have ended the game right there.
Yep.
And if that wasn't called, right, like it should not have been called, then we'd be sitting here talking about, look, Trevor looked pretty bad a lot of times today, but you know what? He found a way to get it done. You know what? Like, we walked out with a W. You know, we're still in a rebuild, and we walked out with a W against, you know, Jamar Chase, right? It was a bad call of a ref away from us kind of being pretty positive today.
Well, I think I got to give myself a little bit of hope in thinking that I still would have been down on Trevor Lawrence after the way that he disrespected the head coach.
Right. But we would overall just have a more positive, just like, but we managed, as a team, we managed to eke out this win. We could still have our Trevor Lawrence talk, but hey, really quick, Cowboys eke out a gritty win against the Giants. I know the Giants aren't supposed to be very good, but, you know, of course it's my Dallas Cowboys that are inspiring Russell Wilson to look like his old self. But that Cowboys O-line,
they played well.
Tyler Booker, Tyler Smith, Tyler Guyton. I mean, you're just seeing these dogs, and you see what happens when CeeDee Lamb doesn't have a case of the drops. Dak and CD did their job. They put up 40 at the end of the day.
Yeah, they played great.
It's, if you want to understand what situational football looks like, go watch a Mahomes, a Jalen Hurts, a Dak Prescott, a Matthew Stafford. Some of these veterans go execute these 3rd and 2s, you know, 2nd and 4s. Like, watch how they do it, and then you go watch how Trevor Lawrence does it. And it just, you know, again, I don't think Brian Thomas 40 yards down the field in double coverage was the call on 3rd and 2. Maybe I'm wrong.
And I also think that
maybe it's this genius beyond my understanding.
Yeah, maybe. I mean, I also think that had Trevor had good situational awareness and had accepted that he was getting sacked by one of the best edge rushers in the game, and they had taken the 3 points, Coach would have taken the 3 points later in the game too and not gone on it on 4th down. We would have been up 6 points, which would have made a huge difference. So it's kind of it's just those things, man, and it's frustrating. It's frustrating when you lose. However, it was good to see like the guys still hanging in till the end. You know,
they played hard.
Was
not a problem.
That's all that I can, at the end of the day, really ask for. But you shrugged off your coach. You're supposed to be the leader. I understand if you, at the end of the drive, if you go on the sideline and you're like, Coach, it's not that big a deal, like blah 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 blah, and you're like arguing with your coach. But mid drive to just throw your hands up at your coach and say, you don't know what you're talking about, I'm not listening to you, man, it's over for me. It's over.
Positives: Parker Washington, Brenton Strange. The defense largely. Jamar and T got theirs. We knew they would. I said I would have injected 35-28 right into my veins. We ended up being on the wrong end of that. I think 35-31 or something like that. But, I still think Texans at home is extraordinarily winnable. I think 49ers at 49ers is very winnable. It's just, is it going to be one of those years where we come up short in these one-score games? But I will say still this team looks night and day from last season. As far as the talent, as far as the capability, the offensive line and defensive line look like night and day, just what they're capable of. So I'm having a lot of fun watching. I just, like my Dallas Cowboys, I want us to come up and grab that win, Come up and grab that win. So.
And I think that there's going to be more wins ahead,
for sure.
Ethan, but, it's going to take
we don't have a first-round pick.
It's going to take some form of apology or accountability from Trevor for me to get back on the Trevor bandwagon. Until then, whoever our backup is, that's who I'm rooting for. So
yeah. All right, let's go watch the Super Bowl rematch. Love you, dog.
All right, man.
All right, happy Sunday,
See you
everyone.
guys.
Tough day, but
hang in there.
All right.
Hang in there, everybody.
All right. Peace out, y'all. Bye.
Bye.